Hi everyone, Chris Timm here from Sundela Consulting. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we can get information out of a ticket, so custom fields from a ticket within Halo, put them into a PDF document and have that PDF document sent to our customers. So let's say we may have a scenario where you need to do some kind of onboarding for your customer. So maybe you want to send them all of their onboarding details. So I'm going to show you what I've set up, and then what we'll do is we'll go through and kind of create all of this together. So the first thing we want to do, just to take a look at how this works, is if we click on the new tickets, and I'm just going to select a company in this point, and then the ticket type I'm going to use here is new employee onboarding. So what I have in here is a whole bunch of different information. So I've got the hire date, so let's just put this in. Let's put our full name in here. Whatever it is, if I can spell it correctly. This is going to be, and the login name is going to be this, and let's say your temporary password is so we're going to call it Squeak, and maybe your direct report is going to be Pluto. Okay, department, the mouse department, and your HR manager is. Okay, so we're putting all our information in. Now we've got a notes field in here where we could say, please ensure you change your password. Okay, and maybe we could also stick some kind of picture in here. And because this is a rich picture, or rich text, we can probably shove a picture in there. I'm just going to put one out of the scan. No, better not. Don't know what that scan is. Anyway, never mind. We won't put the picture in. But what we can do in here is now we can see the information on here. Please ensure you change your password. This is your HR manager. So all of this information is basically now entered against the ticket. So what we can do up here is we can send the onboarding to the customer. So what we're going to do is we're going to say send the onboarding. Now the first thing you'll note that we've actually done is we've used the new person's email address. And then from here we can put some more notes in here if you want to, but here is the PDF that gets generated. So if we actually open this PDF document up, now you can see a bunch of stuff in here. So this particular one doesn't put the notes in there, but when on the one we do together, we'll have the notes. But here you can see all of this information, and there's the information that gets sent to them. So I can of course send this to this person. It is going to fail, and it will just send them this document. Let's click on send, and away it goes. Let's hope there's no mickey@mouse.com. And there you go. So basically they will now get this ticket, and everything will be good. Okay, so let's go and take a look at how we actually did this. So to start with, what you probably want to start by doing is getting yourself an HTML document of some kind. I will put a link to my documentation system below where you can grab this HTML if you want it. It's just some HTML I put together. And I use something called HTML Instant. Just gives you a really good way of being able to see see a side-by-side view. So here's our HTML code. So what we've got in here is the employee onboarding, and whatever we fill into our first name field or our full name field in here is going to say this is for Mickey Mouse, whatever the case might be, the hire date, and all of this kind of information plus our notes. So what we actually want to do at this point is we want to start by creating a PDF document in Halo. So if we simply click on the copy button in here, and then if we go into config, bottom left corner, and then from here, if we just type documents, and I'm just going to get rid of this document actually. Oh, okay. It probably won't let me get rid of it. What we would do is we would create a new one, and we would call this, so let's actually just do this. Let's call this onboarding YouTube test. Okay, and then under the pages in here, what I would do is take out this page that they've got, this HTML text, and simply, it's quite a big document, and simply paste our HTML code over the top that we copied from our HTML editor here. So if we generated this PDF now, you would be able to see by just looking at this, here's the information that we had. Now you can see it's pretty much put the information correctly onto this document. Okay, well, let's go and do this for real now. And how would we actually set this up? So here's our document, all good to go. So what we want to do is we want to come into tickets and then ticket types. And from here, we want to create a new ticket type. So let's call this, let's just call this one, YouTube employee onboarding. Okay, and what we want in here, of course, we want an initial status. We also wanted to start a workflow, which we'll come back to a little bit later. Let's go into the first line support team. And then what we want to do, and they've actually changed this where there's, you used to be able to scroll all the way down and find the settings on the bottom, but they've now added a new tab called settings. But effectively, if we come all the way down, kind of near the end of this, somewhere down here, there you go, PDF prints. So it's asking us what document we actually want to use. So in this case, we're going to use the onboarding YouTube test document for this particular type of ticket. Now, what we're then going to do is we're going to come back into here and we're going to click on our field list and we're going to start adding some fields that we had inside here. So what I would basically do is just copy all of these. I'm actually going to bring this out to a different place just so I can see, you know, how they set up, but I'll show you step by step kind of what we're doing on here. So I've got to bounce back, by the way. So if we come into here and we go into add, now we can obviously select any field in here that we like, but what I'm doing is these are all custom fields that I'm using. So at this point, we're going to simply click the add button over here. Oops, why is it not letting me? There you go, add button. And then we're simply going to say, you know, this is going to be, and let's just start with this hire date. The field label is going to be hire date, and the type of field in here is obviously a date field. And we click on date. Oh, you know why? It's because we, I'll tell you what, hang on, what I'm going to do. It's because I already have those custom fields set up. What I'll do is let me show you how we would do this normally. So yeah, on our ticket type, if we just go back to YouTube onboarding, what you would essentially be doing, and because I don't want to have to change our HTML document because it's already kind of pre-filled in with those custom fields, but effectively all you would do is you'd come in here and you would say, you know, hire date 1, for example, and then call this hire date. And this hire date 1 here would basically be the same information as you have on that document that I showed you. But what I'm going to do for the purposes of this is I'm actually going to just click on the add button, and because I've already got them all, I can just simply select them from here. So here we have CF hire date, which we're going to add. We've also got CF full name. We've also got CF email. So that one. We've got CF login. CF login. We've also got CF temp password. And we've also got a field called CF direct report. CF direct report. And then we've got maybe CF department. CF department. And maybe the HR manager. So CF HR manager. And CF notes. Notes, yep, CF notes. And I think that's it. So What you'll basically see happen at this point when I click on save, we now have all of these fields that have currently been added. Now, it's important to note at this point that these fields are called, are prefixed as CF. So we need to make sure that we are using the custom field. If, for example, you went into, and let's just duplicate this tab because this is quite important to show you. If, for example, you went into one of these custom fields and we changed, let's go into hire date, and we change the, was it in here? Maybe it's not on the date field. Let's just try something else. Oh, here, field summary. This is what I was looking for. So if we put in here field summary and you have something put in here like full name, for example, what you'll actually see happen when we look at this on our ticket type. So if we go back to our ticket type and we just do a quick refresh on this, what you'll actually see, oh, and we didn't save it. Great. Let's just quickly add them all again. CF hire date. Sorry, guys. CF full name. This is one of the issues with not saving stuff. My fault. CF full name. Now, yeah, I might not do it on this one. CF email. CF login. Okay, let's do CF temp password. CF direct report. CF department. And HR manager. CF HR manager. If I can type, and CF notes. Save, save, save. Okay, now we've saved them all. So what you might see if you change that that description, that inside here, instead of it saying first name, it would actually have said, you know, full name or first name. Actually, it's because it's the wrong field. That's why. And this is your problem. It's now you can see it's not actually pulling it because it's got something different. It's now got the word full name. Now, if I'd added this in here, what you will see is this will actually show full name in the parentheses instead of showing the CF. This will fail on the report. Okay, so what we basically have to do at this point is you have to come back into here. And if we go into custom fields and we look for the custom fields for full name, what I would normally do at this point, so I would simply take off the field summary so that when you look at that field back on the form, if we come back into add, and now we can say CF full name, and you can see it's gone back to the custom field, and it's this name here that we need in the brackets, not that kind of description to in order for this report to work. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so here we have all of our fields on here, and we've also linked this using the settings tab. We've linked this to tell us what report we actually want to generate from this. Okay. So now that we have that done, that's great. The next thing we want to do is we want to come in here and we want to add a ticket action. So the action on this would be, you know, let's say YT send onboarding. Let's do this, and then I'll just keep this as sequence 1, and in here the button name, let's just say and of course at this point we're going to pick a button icon. You can put whatever you want. I think there is a PDF one, so we'll just use that one. And then all we need to do is we need to come down here. So we've got no system use on this, but what we do have is there's a couple of things we want to do at this point. So what we want to do here is we want to say when this action is performed, we want to attach a PDF report. And the PDF report we want to attach is the onboarding YouTube test. Okay, now the other thing we want to do within this action, because we don't just want to have the document printed out, we might want to be able to actually send the document to somebody. We want to make sure that we have send an email equals yes. And then one of the things we have to come down here and we can go ahead and actually use these fields. Now there's something to note in here. So for example, when you first create this, the person that you're actually sending this document to, who's the person who's being onboarded, probably isn't going to be you know, an end user on your system, so you're probably not going to log the ticket for them, but you may still want to actually send them the email. So what you want to do at this point, instead of, you know, this is normally pre-filled in by whoever the you know, the contact on the ticket or the end user, what have you. But what we actually want to do, we can use the dollar variables in here. So if we call this CF email, this basically means it's going to pull the email address from whatever we type in on that document. So if we go back to our document, it's going to pull in whatever email address we type in here, and it's going to allow us to actually use that document to send information to that person. Okay, and we're going to hit save. So technically now we kind of have something all fully working. Now you could just go ahead and you could send this out. This action would appear on the ticket. But one of the things that we really want to do at this point, and there is going to be some more videos, and I know we've made some with Morgan before around kind of what ticket workflows are and how ticket workflows work. So I'm just going to build a very quick workflow because I think it's, in fact, we've got the onboarding workflow, but I'll just go through kind of how this works. Actually, no, let me start again. So let's call this workflow onboarding. So maybe we'll just keep this as step 1. It doesn't really matter. The actions that we want in here are going to be, we want the action to say, send the onboarding doc. We also probably want to have, you know, maybe a private note. And we probably also want to have a, you know, an email user or something to that effect. So what we'll effectively do is we'll bring these in, and on all of these ones here, we can say once you've done this, you actually probably just want to move to step 2, because, you know, step 2 is going to just allow us to actually complete the ticket. So come through here. Actually, no, yeah, no, I'll keep it on those. What we're then going to do is in step 2, we're going to come in here and we're going to say the actions that we want in here is maybe going to be, you know, do we have a reopen? Maybe we don't, sorry, to allow actions. Let's reopen the first ticket. So basically what this means is, you know, we're going to have the ability to close the ticket. So we should probably add that actually at the step before. Let's come in here and let's say add actions, resolve tickets. So we could basically have a step that would just go ahead and resolve this ticket, whatever the case might be. So let's just go in here and save this, and let's let's save. Oops. Then in here, we'll call this YT workflow. All right, so now we have everything we need in place. The last thing we need to do is go back into our ticket type. We need to go to our YT onboarding, and we need to tell this onboarding document in here to start a workflow. So the workflow we're going to start is the YT workflow. And that's it. So what we can now do is if we click on add a new ticket, and let's pick a customer name. And the ticket type we're going to use here is going to be YT employee onboarding. So we're going to pick what their hire date is. We're also going to pick the email address, whatever the case might be. Login name. Temporary password is, and the direct report is going to be, and then he's in the water department. HR manager is Pluto. And in here we can say, please change the password. And of course, here the full name is going to be. Now, of course, we can have this form kind of, these things being in different orders. I just made a very simple form. You can customize this and make it look pretty. But effectively, what we're going to do is we're going to hit submit. So now we filled in all of the details, which you'll actually see all those details. Eventually, they don't seem to show up in there. But what we do have now is the ability to send this document. So let's send this, this onboarding document. So if we simply click in here, you can see by clicking on the action, we're now sending this email to donald@duck.com, and we have our PDF document that's been created. And if I open up this PDF document, with a bit of luck, we should see that this is the employee onboarding for Donald Duck, some of their information, there's the password, blah, 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 please change your password, etc., etc. So our document has worked. We've basically had all of this information in here, and now we can just go ahead and simply send this to them. Or of course, you can choose not to send it if you wanted to. If you didn't want to have an email in here and just print it out, you could do that. In this case, I'm actually going to send it to my Gmail account. Feel free to spam me on that if you want to. It's unmonitored. But yeah, so what I can now do is if I simply click the send button, I will now get an email inside my Gmail account with that document. Now you may say, well, what's the point of sending the person the document if they don't have the details? Of course, because how are you going to know how to log into your computer to get your email if you haven't actually already had this document to log in? So what I would do is print it out, and maybe when you supply their PC, kind of put it on top, but also have it in the email so that they have it for whenever they need it. And there it is. There's the document ready to go. And of course, because in our workflow, we added this as the last step, we now have the ability to kind of come in here and reopen the ticket. So if for whatever reason we have to reopen this kind of ticket, we simply have got the reopen ticket button here, and this is going to allow us to reopen the tickets. So I really hope that this was useful. If you like these kinds of videos, then please give it a like and subscribe. It really does help. Please give me a thumbs up, and I'll be making some more of these, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thank you very much, and have a great day.